Welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Alan Colmes. Still to come, at least 6 are dead after massive explosions rock the Baghdad hotel. We'll bring you the latest on this brutal attack. But first, we now continue with more on the destruction left in the wake of Hurricane Wilma and what local officials are doing to help the affected residents. Joining us from Tallahassee, the Florida Secretary of Healthcare Administration, Alan Levine. Secretary, thank you for being with us. How are we doing in terms of evacuating nursing homes and hospitals right now?
Well, we have the damage in our hospitals and nursing homes is significant and fairly widespread. Fortunately, our facilities have tremendous evacuation plans. They have good preparation. We're really proud of the job they've done. We have had a couple of nursing homes and hospitals that have had to evacuate.
Now, we had, that when we talk about Katrina, we remember resistance and all kinds of problems getting people out. Have you had similar problems where you are?
Well, I think Floridians are pretty adept at dealing with hurricanes and disasters, and we do have a good response when it comes to local declarations for evacuation. We do worry when people choose not to evacuate. It becomes a problem for our search and rescue teams afterwards, but we're proud of the way Floridians have responded, and we're encouraging people to be good neighbors right now and look out for their friends and neighbors.
So you're not meeting resistance? Most people who need to evacuate are evacuating?
Yes, we believe that they are. I think, Ken, when you think about a place like Key West or the Lower Keys or the Florida Keys in general, they've been through 4 of these storms this year where they've had to evacuate. So we obviously worry about complacency, and we work very hard, starting with local officials when they call those evacuations, all the way up to the governor, who's been very steadfast in his leadership and has done a terrific job of encouraging people to leave when it's time to leave.
Let's talk about people without electricity. A few million people who don't have electricity. That's got to bring certain health problems as well, right?
Well, we have 3.5 million Floridians right now in over 42 counties that are without power right now, and it's a concern for all of us. That cold front actually could be very helpful, but we are working very hard. We have thousands of power company workers from out of state working side by side with Floridians to return power. And yes, it can be a health problem. Right now, I think it's important for Floridians to know, number one, they shouldn't return home until local officials say it's safe to do so. Other common sense safety precautions. If you've never used a chainsaw, now is not the time to learn. If you're using a generator, don't use it indoors. Most deaths occur after the hurricane, not during the storm.
Why is that?
And
why?
I think hopefully we've learned from the past, and I think it generally happens because people aren't looking out for their own safety. They're taking chances. When you walk into a puddle of water, there could be a down power line. So it's safe to stay indoors. Don't go into puddles of water. Don't drive at night, certainly right now, until you're told it's safe to do so.
And you make an interesting point. Down power lines are always a problem. How long before it's really safe to go about business as usual after everything clears?
Well, we work very quickly. We have an approach in Florida that we move very swiftly, and we try to get as many people into the affected areas as possible. And so we work very quickly to do that. I can't predict how long it will take. We ask people to be patient and to wait until local officials say it's safe to return.
Alan, what are the other dangers if you're talking about power lines and chainsaws and generators? Just because we sometimes forget, as you point out, most of the deaths happen after. But what are the other risks?
Generally, right now, I think the most important thing people can do is to look out for their neighbors, particularly if they have an elderly or a vulnerable neighbor. Now is the time. A lot of our Floridians have families that live up north or in another state that may not have somebody there to take care of them. So I think one of the risks right now is complacency and not looking out for your family and neighbors.
But is there any other specific thing? Because something, people may be hearing you right now and they might not be thinking. I know, for example, I would have thought of power lines and chainsaws, but generators I wouldn't have. Is there any other specific thing they need to be aware of?
We ask people to watch local health department warnings, for example, boiled water warnings. We want to make sure people, again, aren't walking around in water. There's objects in the water. It's not safe to do that. And again, the best thing right now is to stay indoors. We have almost 400 trucks of water, ice, and food that either provided by the federal government or the state. And, generally just look out for your own family and your own safety.
Mr. Levine, we thank you so much for coming on tonight, sharing this information with us. Thank you so much. And coming up next, 3 enormous bombs explode outside a hotel housing foreign journalists in Baghdad. Was it an attack made for TV? We'll give you the details and play you the dramatic tape. And then does the White House have an exit strategy for their stalled Supreme Court nomination? We'll give you the details. And G. Gordon Liddy is here. Stay with us on Hannity and Colmes.